All right, we are here with Helix, and
Hi, I'm Coltrain.
we are here to do the Season 10 NPBA Johto PRs. So, couple weeks behind, but better than nothing.
Yeah, so slight caveat. We have all the changes in as of the time of us recording this in the order. So some of you haven't made any trades, others have. Uh, just how it be.
Yeah, I mean, you could just not have PRs. So, this is
Yeah, you
this is
know.
something for you to listen to while you work or
And I mean, if you think about it, instead of being, now slightly outdated information, this is current to your current situation.
right. And we're not basing this on how teams are doing. So if you're 2-0 or you're 0-2, 0-3 or whatever, or actually we only had 2 weeks, then it doesn't matter. We're just doing it by the teams. We have a tier list here. You'll see your logo, except for Jake. You never sent one in, so you are the dog. Because apparently that's dubs if you Google it. So everybody else, it should be your logo. And we'll just jump into the first team, which was Flygons. And you have any first thoughts on this one?
I mean, right off the rip, I mean, typically things I look at when analyzing drafts is like your type cores or hazards is like where my eyes first go. I mean, all the type cores are here. You don't need to have all your type cores realistically to have a good team, but generically, it's just something I look for. You only have like realistically one reliable rocker, and it's not the best in Lycan Rock. But your defog options are fine, but I do think that's going to be a problem into certain matchups, which is probably the biggest issue on this team I see right off the rip.
Yeah, for me, it's that there is no real ghost resist. It's more Pico,
More Pico.
who is a good value mon. I agree for what it does with parting shot and rapid spin. But yeah, it's kind of tough being this ghost week, considering how many good spammable ghost types are in here. I don't know if you play Spectrier, but like this is a Spectrier choice specs free game for them.
I mean, heck, even Dragon Bolt. Dragon Bolt gives you some
Yeah.
not great issues because your fairies are Weezing, Galar, and Mega Guard, and Weezing is already doing a lot on this team, right? He is a ground immunity, but you don't always want to be Levitate
Well, you
with
don't
a
pick up
mon like
toxic
Weezing
spikes
G,
this way, yeah.
right? And that means your one true ground immunity is Lando, which really isn't like a defensive mon to switch in ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the
I,
team's like fine, like it works, but like me personally, I'm not the
it's
biggest fan. It feels like it's very matchup dependent.
I mean that's draft, but yeah, it's fast. I mean, goodness gracious, it is. It's got a lot of congested speed tiers, and speed tiers, in my opinion, are definitely, blown out of proportion in the draft community. But
Hmm.
I mean, it's still you still want to have some variation. But I like a lot of the pieces. I like Vaporeon. I think Zamba Crown is you could win probably 3 or 4 games a season just on it. I think Landorus is great. I've never used Gouging Fire and I've never really seen it, but
Slight side tangent. I mean, I've fought Gouging Fire a couple times. I never really used it much in draft, but it feels like such a fake mon to me. I've never really seen it pop off. It feels like it should.
I
I don't know.
have, but I've seen it. I see it's always been with Terra where I've seen it pop off. I think the
Hmm.
Burning Bulwark sets are probably worth looking at for defensively on this team because it feels a little frail at times. But all right, this is Flygon. Where do you want to put them? We can always adjust
I mean,
later.
yeah, we can always adjust. I mean, off the rip,
I think
I
they're
want to see like B or C, like somewhere between.
we'll put them top of C for now and see uh, where they
It's
go.
just there's a lot of problems with the team in general, and like in a division like Johto, I'm not gonna sugarcoat how I feel about the team. Where if I was doing a casino PR, I might be like, oh, this the blah blah blah. It's B or C.
Yeah. All right, let's hop into JSauce. Oh, good, it's JSauce. This is an easy one. Where's his Centrets? Oh, there's no F, so you just get a D. That's all you get. Um, but this
Why
team
don't you
is
start talking about this team first?
it's actually pretty good.
I mean,
KB's
I
broken.
Dude, KB is such a divisive topic. Uh,
it is a divisive topic
you
in
get
our
people
community.
on everywhere where people think it's weak, people think it's fine, people think it's so OP. I personally think it's awful for its point tier, to be real.
It's
I've never struggled
17.
into KB.
I mean, it's so
I mean,
good.
it punishes you for bad drafts, is what I think KB does. But like, I feel like most good teams have one or two options that really just destroy KB.
I mean, it's the problem I think with it is you have to know its item. If you click into
Yeah.
you're clicking into weakness policy on a scale shot or even honestly like just a loaded dice scale shot spear is so tough. And then oh, I'll throw my steel in there. It's got enough to two hit KO with earth power. It's not as just easy as a mon to. It's just it's so tough to prep for because it can be 120 is a lot in special attack for it to be lower, and 170 is massive, and it's bulky as sin. I mean, it's 125, 190. I mean, it's a box art. It's so
Mhm.
it just. I mean, if it's I think it's fantastic, but I'm biased. The
I mean,
rest of
don't
the
get me
team,
wrong.
though,
It's like one of those mons that are really good, like how Dragapult's good. I actually think Dragapult's kind of meh when you use it. But like it's Dragapult. I feel very similar to KB.
I think Dragapult's boring, but it is very good. But I mean, like, Slowking makes it also infinitely better. Just
Yeah,
pivoting,
with the
slow
snow
pivot
option.
with the ice up makes it just so bulky on the physical side. Gren being able to U-turn into it. I think he's got the random gap dose down here.
Oh, I
Um,
mean, Gyaptos actually serves a really big purpose on this team because when I look at this team, I really see it struggling to break steel types. Um,
yeah, I don't. There's no
Gligar
fire.
is like hit or miss on the matchup. Zapdos is really your only answer, and Slowking and KB get infinitely walled by a bulky steel like this team. I mean, obviously it's just one mon, right? But Mega Aggron is like something you're never going to be able to really easily push through
I
with a
mean,
team
yeah,
like this,
minus a smash toys. But
right?
yeah, I mean, I mean, in my opinion, Persian's not doing anything, but I think it's one. Um, I would have just gone for a bulkier normal. Morgrem, I know JSauce likes, which is a nice utility pick. It's interesting. It's not a way I would like to play this game, but I do see like the what it's going for. I think the first three are really good, and I think adding Gapdos to it is great. You got a great rapid spinner, defog. Um, I mean it's not bad. I think this is like
I,
a B team for me.
yeah, I would say B team as well because I feel like it has everything it needs for most weeks, but there's just a bunch of like smaller things that I feel like are kind of weak. Like Tinkaton and Morgrem aren't really like real fairy types, you know what I'm saying? And then,
Yeah.
you know, Gligar is a great defensive mon. Don't get me wrong, but it's like your primary stealth rocker, and rocks are really good into a lot of different
I think
matchups.
Tinkaton is. I mean, because it's fast rocks at least.
Yeah, I mean, Tinkaton's fast rocks, but then I feel like you're not bringing more Grim every week, and it's your fairy type. You kind of need it to stay alive. You can't just let it take like a huge hit just to get up rocks into a lot of matchups.
Morgrim with a it's a screen setter, but I do like the team. It's not how I would play, but I think it's a pretty.
It's fine.
All right. Well, let's move on to the side guy. First off, Orbeetle, top top Gen 8 mon here. Um,
hmm
this is a
I mean, it's a gold Samurott team, right?
yeah, it's annoying, is what it is. But it's a
It's
it
gold,
on paper it looks good.
Samurott, Val, you know, Raging Bolt. It's all the new boys, all the new fun stuff, you know.
Yeah, this is
Just
like a Gen 9 OU with a
yeah.
with a Donphan Orbeetle and a Mega Arrow. I mean, I
I
love
mean,
Salazzle. That's an NPBA thing. Everybody knows that. It actually does a lot on this team. I think with the fire and the poison typing is quite nice here for it. And I mean, obviously the spamming of toxic is great. So I don't know. I like this team. I think Sai Guy put together a pretty solid team.
I mean, I think it's a pretty good offensive team. You're not going to be really looking to dig into most matchups with like your only really true defensive choices being Donphan, maybe Lickitung or Samurott. I mean, Gold can kind of do it, but
Goldengo's is bulkier than I think. Just the typing alone gives it a pretty
yeah. But I mean,
natural
you're
bulk.
not looking to stay in for like more than I feel like 20 turns with this kind of a team, and I
Well,
think it does
no,
that well, right?
no, it does. I mean, it gets spikes up. You can't remove them, and if it really wanted
Just
to,
launches really powerful attacks.
it could get webs up on you, and then it's got multiple mons that can sweep. Don't forget, Salazzle does have like Encore Nasty Plot, so you can get into a situation where you could just win there too. And obviously, Mega Arrow is a easy one to talk about. You don't really need much explanation on the D-Dance sets, and then obviously Booster Val. I mean, it's a good team. The type chart looks good. I mean, the fairy weakness is pretty covered by Salazzle and honestly Goldango.
I mean, you're never not bringing gold, right?
Yeah,
so...
exactly. It's coming. That and Hamrot are coming almost every game, I imagine. I mean, the top 4 I feel like are coming every game almost.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, heck, I even like Lil again. It's like I think it's like 1 or 2 points. That's kind of cool for his chlorophyll option. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean it's good. Quiver Dance and Shenanigans is always good too. What do you
how
think?
do you feel about this team on the chart? Because I was thinking, I don't think S, but I'm thinking this is like a cut above the other teams we've seen. I think it's somewhere in A.
Yeah, we can start it at A. Let's see. All right, yeah,
I mean,
good team.
Just typically as a rule of thumb in draft, I don't like the heavier offensive teams. Not because they're bad, but I just don't feel like, me personally, I like to shoot for finals every season. You know what I mean? So I feel like teams like these typically will hit playoffs, but then lose before finals.
I mean, it's just how you play them. I think if you
right.
I mean, you can't really play this is a tough one to play super bulky into. But I know he's 2-0. I'm pretty sure. So he's playing it well so far. Let's see here. Zazalin, who is Balep on there. Is this type chart right?
I think it might be glitched out. You see Fortress is just like a 7 in there. I'm pretty sure this is incorrect.
Okay.
The type chart down there. What happens if you delete Fortress really quick? Put him back in.
There's something off with it.
There's no way that's correct.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, let me see. Is that correct? It might actually be correct from what I'm looking at so far.
What's hilarious are all of the.
No, that type chart is correct. Actually, from what I'm looking at, I don't see a single one.
That's
that's a correct type chart. That is incredible.
That's hilarious. Look at all the zeros.
It's
almost like a meme team.
I've never seen a team with a fully green bar, and that's actually correct. Like, quickly just like delete like just 2 of them, and we can bring them back. I guarantee you it's correct because they'll go red. Yeah, look at that.
That's hilarious. I mean, it's so funny.
S tier for the green bar if I was memeing, right? But like,
yeah. It's like look at all the immunities. I mean, it's so fun. I mean, it's almost all an immunity team. Immunity, 2, 3 immunities, right? 2, nope, 3 immunities. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, 11, 12. I mean, that's hilarious. Is it 12? Yeah, that's hysterical.
12 immunities.
I mean, on paper,
it's very cool on paper. Like, this is a beautiful looking team on paper.
I mean, it is the slowest team I've ever seen in draft. Your 5th fastest mod is 50. I mean, it's. I don't even think it's that bad though.
You do have Hat, which is like a trick room setter, but I don't really think you have a trick room abuser. From what I'm looking at, it's a normal mod instead of a mega
slow
mod.
Bro.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like
Hat in itself is a very good trick room using mod.
Yes, it is.
This is. I don't know if this is a meme or not, but it's not a particularly bad team. I mean, it's got decent spend. It's got Fortress I know is dividing on people think it's I think it's an okay spinner. You don't get many spin you don't get many chances to spin, and I almost feel like you have to run boots to probably get it off. But you have bounce,
You have magic bounce. I
right? And,
mean,
and Moltres is a
Moltres is
really
kind
good.
of forced into boots anyways, so it's not a big deal.
It's a good defogger. But yeah, I mean I love Pal. I think Palafin Meowscrat are two Gen 9 power crap just monsters. Getting Mega Slowbro we know has been divisive already, but was a good pickup clearly. I think Clodsire not that great in Nat decks, but I mean it's an
It's
interesting
not
team.
bad.
No,
I mean, Unaware is always great. It just helps you in certain matchups.
I don't even know where to rank this team.
Yeah, I don't know where to rate this either. I mean,
I know he's the cat, which I think is hysterical. I'm gonna
I'm
put him
gonna
just.
I would put it hesitantly in B. Let me look. I'm gonna stare at it for like a couple more seconds.
I've got it above
I
J.
I can't believe that green bar. I kind of want to put it higher just for the green bar in the type chart. Yeah,
Put
screw
it
it. We'll throw it at A for the green bar in the type chart.
I don't know if he did. I don't know if he meant to do that as a meme. I don't
Actually,
know
no.
how.
Back to B. Okay, I actually have a reason why I want this team in B.
Okay, why?
There's not like any immediate power, if you know what I'm saying.
I
Like
mean,
you have a lot of like strong mons. Meowscarad is fast and strong, but like is liable to get O-code by a lot. When you have, I know Palafin Hero, but it's not a big deal in sixes to take that whole turn off. But you understand what I'm getting at
no,
here,
I
right?
get it.
Like
Yeah. Hey, watch out
it's
for
not like, I
Guzzlord.
mean, I think you have
This
a
is the
lot
best
of like
Ultra Beast.
defensive mons. You're putting a lot on, I feel like, Palafin to just solo carry the game.
I honestly think for this team, you have to play like just a hazard stack knockoff chip game where you just slowly make the turns into miserable for everybody. You don't you don't change this into Mega Slowbro as long as you can, but it's been I mean it's interesting. I wouldn't play this team, but I don't. It's odd. All right, next team. This is a much more standard looking team.
Yeah, so this is a team that looks like I would play just off the rip.
Yeah, Bullet. I don't even know what Bullet's logo is. Which one is he in here? I don't
Off the
remember.
top of my head, I can't. I'll pull it up really quick. Let me see. Go into coach info. Where's Bullet Puncher? Did he even put one in here? I swear he did. No, I'm not even seeing the logo in here. Do we even have his logo up there?
I thought I had 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we have 16.
Interesting.
I have no idea. I'll look here in a second. Let's look at this team though.
Yeah, let's
It's.
jump into it. We can.
I mean, I think Latios as a first pick was interesting, but Luster Purge is real annoying to deal with.
I mean, hey, I picked Latios as a first pick in Kanto. And people also said some stuff about that, but hey, I won my first week.
There you go. The big thing I noticed is no grounded poison, but you do have 1, 2, 3, 4 mons that. Well, more than that. Wait, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. 4 mons who don't care for the toxic spikes, but I mean, Ting-Lu probably doesn't love that, nor does Prem. But I don't think it's a bad team. It's it's fast. 143 all the way down to 100 for the first 5 mons is quick. Their trio is always a nice pressure. I think Ting-Lu is fantastic. Mon.
How do you feel about the support from Mega Pidgeot? Because I'm not the biggest fan. A lot of the time with Megas like Charizard or Pidgeot or Pinsir, I feel like you want to have a lot of removal options, but your removal options here, realistically, because you really don't want to be doing it on Latios most weeks,
No, it's
are
Hitmontop.
top and top, right?
Yeah, Zard's. I mean, he brought Zard already, but yeah, I don't know. I think I've used Mega Pidgeot once in Gen 8, and it is nice hitting Hurricane where you just don't have to worry about it. It hurts. I mean, it's like what 135 special attack. It stings. It's a
Yeah, it's good.
nice. Yeah. I mean, granted, Focus Blast is. I mean, there's nothing misses into you, but yeah, it's.
Like this team feels fine, right? It's like,
I feel like
I
this is
mean,
a very C team.
yeah, it's like very. I think it's like the higher end of in the middle, right? It's probably like
Yeah.
top of C, lower B. We'll probably have like a final adjustment at the end, right?
Yeah, we can move it. Where is this?
Right now I'd put it at top of C. You got cool options. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the team. There's just not anything like eye popping either.
Oh, that's why I have J Sauce's team in here twice. That's hysterical. All right, whatever. J Sauce will swap. We'll swap your old one here, and the seven deadly centrets will be. Uh, I think it's just the end of B for me. I mean, it's probably better than the Blep team. What do you think?
I'm fine with its placement.
All right. Fast Flames here. Well, it's a terrain team.
Yeah, it's a terrain team. But your terrain setter is thwacky.
Hey, for cheap terrain, it's not bad, and you get a little bit of bulk from the Eviolite and Grassy Glide. Still, I mean, 85 isn't a massive, it's not boomer, but it's still convenient, and
I mean,
U-turn.
I've used it before. It's good, like for its points.
I think it's really just for to give you the option for the Sneasler, and it is nice support for Mega Maw.
How do you feel about Mega Mind Draft out of curiosity?
I I don't love it. I
I
hate I
don't love
hate
it either.
playing it. I hate playing it, and I hate using it. So
I
uh,
mean, realistically, right? I don't feel like there's anything wrong with this team. It's got most of the things I'm looking for typically, at least on paper. Your hazard options are fine. Your removing options are fine. You got a decent amount of momentum. So giving it the quick glance over, you got most, if not all, of your type cores here.
it's got three
Um,
normals.
it's got three normals, which is actually pretty cool. But your like your defensive switch-ins to fighting are just fine, you know.
Yeah, I mean Gliscor's great, and obviously Shandy prevents just locked in fighting moves. I
Latias is tanky.
it's I mean I prefer to get one mon over 120 in speed. I don't know if it's
I
necessary.
this since Gen 9, I have been I used in Gen 8 was looking at 120 plus to be kind of like the big breakpoint, right? In speed. I feel like ever since Gen 9 it's 130 plus.
Yeah, I mean they didn't add all that many, but they did add a lot of powerful things. Yeah, I like to get 125 and above. But I mean Sneasler with Unburden kind of doubles in a weird way. And his team does have um, a couple speed boosting mons too, and it's got.
You also have like a few scarf options with Rotom, Shandy, and Latias, but I don't really like Scarf Latias.
No, I think Latias is better as a calm mind abuser personally, but Latias is a great defensive piece. I mean, I feel like this team's going to be a tough one to break down.
Yeah, that's what like. I mean, obviously you have your generic fat Blissey, right? You have even like grassy terrain will make this team harder to take down. I mean, Mawile won't just be dying to an EQ.
Yeah.
Uh, Not that it was still going to want to eat one through terrain, but I mean, I like it. I actually see this team being pretty neutral to good into most teams.
Yeah, I think this might be in my opinion, the overall best team so far. I haven't seen an Obstagoon drafted in forever, but I do think it's not bad.
I've drafted Opposite before and didn't bring him once the entire time. Been like,
Oh,
man, this man was so good. It looks so good until like, and then he just never makes the cut.
I
I
want to
think
put
it's definitely A.
I don't put it at the top A. I think Side Guy's team isn't quite as
That
good.
might be my bulk tinted glasses, but I like it.
It is. This is a Coltrane team. This is more. This is like a raw balance team.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love this team on
JP.
paper. Well, just looking at it, this team makes me so happy. It has a lot of mons I listen to. I'm a huge Mega Medicham simp.
I
His baggy
mean,
pants really gets me going. Like any team with Mega Medicham just goes up in the ratings for me.
yeah. I mean, pivot,
Realistically,
easy
though,
pivot, easy pivot. Not great. Pretty easy pivot. Pretty easy pivot. Meh pivot. Easy pivot. I mean, I think the team sets up Metacham pretty well. I think
mm,
this might be the best team we've seen yet.
like there's tons of momentum mons. Your speed tiers look really good in my
Yeah, but
opinion.
it's not just the momentum. You can click U-turn, but it's got U-turn with things that are the only thing I'd say that if is holding it back is it is missing a special breaker. Like it's a Medi is
Yeah,
fantastic for
I know what
physical.
you mean. You're probably kind of forced into Specs Dragapult, where Dragapult really shines as a mon that can beat any set any week.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you're going to need to bring it Specs. I mean, Florges' Moonblast aren't weak by any
No, I
means.
mean
It's
you
still
could run
112, right?
specs. I mean you could run specs Florges and just
Toxicity is still a good special attacker, but they're situational when you want them to be
yeah,
your
it
special
just
offense
I
mons.
I think this for me this might be the closest one to S, but it definitely is missing like a special breaker.
I don't know. There's just a lot to like. I feel like you have good hazard options if hazards are good into your matchup. You have good and reliable removers. I mean, Komala isn't even that bad of a remover to be real.
Don't
Um,
Couch Cat will come for you for that.
I
He's
know.
great, but
I
yeah,
said it's not bad. I said it's
Fa-
not bad.
Pharaoh is. I mean, I know Pharaoh gets a lot of stigma, but I still think it's it's still annoying to prep for, knowing that anytime you click U-turn or like a non-super effective physical move, you have that risk of just running into helmet barbs, and then if you can't kill it on the next turn, a spike or eating a pretty decently powerful gyro ball. I mean, it's. I'm gonna put this one at the very well for now. Who is this? This is John Paul Joestar.
Do we?
I don't know his. Oh, he's Miami. I actually know that.
I wanted to put it in S for now, just so we have something in the S tier. We can move it
Yeah,
if we want. But
it's
I like
good.
seeing something in S. It just looks
I mean, it's
nice.
got a lot of
I feel like it's good.
It's got a lot of mods I like. I mean, Pult's fine, but I like Medi. I like
I can't
Swamp. I
believe
like.
Medi has CC now. That's so ridiculous.
Yes, it's crazy. Well, I mean, they didn't build Gen 9 around
Around
Megas.
Megas, but
Yeah.
just in this fake Mons tiering of Nat decks.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Um. Okay, so it's a Coco no abuser team,
it's a Coco team.
but it's a Coco no abuser team.
What it
I mean,
is a hazard team. Have you looked at that Stealth Rock Spikes area?
yeah, I know, but
I get it. Like
where's
Coco's
your
there for its speed. It's kind of like realistically your only fast special mon. I mean, Blastoise is a really good special attacker, but like
I mean, yeah, but
I don't know.
my thought on this one is
No ghost resist.
that you don't have an unburden proc. You don't have cork drive or whatever it is, the photosynthesis abuser for electric surge. So you just paid a ton of points for something that tickles mons with 95 attack
To
and
be fair, if I'm talking about Coco here, if we look on the very next team and come back really quick, think about the draft order here of what happened. This man drafted Coco, and then I think it's this guy took both Treads and Iron Moth, and he's right after him in the draft.
yeah, well he could have gotten one of them.
He could have gotten one of them round two, but he greeted round two,
He
and
went
then he got
spawn.
punished.
I mean, yeah. I this one I like. I think Cleaver's better than people think. I think Mega Blastoise is good. I haven't seen Dralodon, but with the Eviolite, it seems like it could be decent. I like that it's not your only Steel type. Infernape is a really good grab into this team. Being you need a good mixed attacker here is really nice, and getting a fast U-turn is fantastic to go along with your other two. I like the Gorgeist grab. I don't know what it really does.
I
Just
mean,
leech
it
seed.
can be any of its forms.
Yeah.
Very rarely you're gonna want to be something like super, but most of the time you're gonna want to be small.
Yeah, I know Frisk is a great draft ability. Just getting to know the item right away is great. I mean, type chart's not bad. I
I
just
think that the thing that really pops out to just to my eyes is most teams that I feel like are successful have malleability, but they also have that, hey, I have this big threat, and if your team's bad into it, you lose, right? And the closest you
yeah,
got is Mega Blastoise, which is pretty manageable at 78 speed with no smash.
I'm putting this in D.
It's I would also put it in D. I mean, it's cool to like the hazard stacking options kind of there with all your mons that have hazards, but Boots is an item now. No
Yeah,
Ghost Resist. If you ever fight Spectrier or Dragapult, you're just gonna get Shadow Balled on. Um, oh,
yeah. I mean, we kind of beat this one up, but it's tough. I would maybe try to get
I mean, you
something.
can win with this team.
Ah,
It's
you can win
just
with any
it's
team.
gonna be hard.
Yeah. All right, let's hop into Mence. Mence with the early DS speed. I think it's a good mod, but I'm not sure I would have taken it round one. But I think from there, the team actually fills out pretty good.
I mean,
Buffon's obviously
it's
awesome.
cool, right? It gets expanding force with the Psychic Terrain,
Uh,
which is actually a pretty cool option, right?
yeah, I like the
I mean, I could be wrong.
treads.
I'm pretty sure Deoxys gets expanding force. Yeah, I'm
I
not
have no
crazy.
clue. I mean, we can check.
Because if it doesn't, then yeah, I hate it.
Nope.
Oh, I feel significantly less good about it.
I mean,
Um,
it's a great lead always, or it's a great cleaner. It does
yeah, but you
force.
also have like another couple like good lead options with like treads and heck even Zarude and
Dada. I mean, I like this team. I think Cool Ranch Dorito Toros is good. Kilowattrel's got you know a quick
Kilowatch is
fast.
a threat,
Yeah, I mean I
straight
like
up.
this team. I think I'm not sure what Lele is doing.
It's so funny if you swap like Lele and Coco around on the other teams.
They should. That would be a pretty.
It'd be so
Both teams
funny.
might be better, but Iron Moth is a great special breaker here. Treads is great utility piece. Altaria so tough to prepare for, and then just kind of some good fill-in options. I think it's almost pretty heavy offense. It doesn't have a whole lot of defensive pieces. I think you have some things that can kind of help defensively, but I think a lot of times you're going to play this pretty offensively.
Yeah, and you're kind of forced to realistically with like a
Yeah.
mon like DOS and
Yeah.
like Moth. You're not gonna be switching to much. You don't really have like the best resists anywhere either. I mean, sure, Moth is like a 4 times resistant to Fairy, and you're kind of Fairy weak, but is it really? Most Fairy types will have coverage for you.
I mean, it's not taking play rough as well. I mean, it's taking Moon
Yeah,
Blast just fine. I'm trying to think where I want to put Mence.
I don't feel like it's C, right?
No, I think it's like I think it's I think it's like here. I think
That's where I would put it too. I think it's above. I think it's
Blep's
above
team
the
is so
bottom.
fun. All right, Elekid. Da 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 da
Megas is
Dunsparce.
their fanning team. Tried, tested, true, good.
Yeah, where's Glenn?
Right?
People,
Where
we
is
had so many
Glenn?
new people in Johto. They're not going to understand the Glenn team. And
They never gonna understand just getting 6-0'd in the first week every season for 3 seasons in a
oh my
row
God,
off rip by Feedy.
yeah, it's like a ritual. Everybody gets murdered by Feeny. I mean, it's a Mega Sizz team. It was a later round one first Mega. I think it's a good pick for where he was. I don't. I mean,
I mean, Moon's like some speed that you need. You're still
it's
not
just
breaking 120, but
it's kind of a slow team. 119, then it drops to 101, 95, 90, 85, 85, and then
I think I'm kind of fine with this, like the slightly slower momentum of this team. I don't think that's what's going for. I mean, you got DOD, you got Feeny,
yeah, I think it's a slow momentum
Megas
team.
is,
Wants to take a hit and get something
yeah.
in to then set up. But I think Overquill will be always underpriced. I think it's got a lot of utility. Um, poor Muck. But I think I actually like this team. I don't think it's amazing by any means, but I don't think it's bad.
No, my only like complaint that I'm really seeing is like your defog options are Megasis and Feeny, which are both good defoggers, right? Um, but I mean, you have like your Thunders there, and it's just that they all kind of wish you had one mon that was more dedicated to it. You know,
Yeah.
or move slot syndrome is
I think
actually
you,
like a big thing on Megasis and Feeny.
yeah, I think you really want a spinner. Like,
Yeah, really
because
want a spinner.
you've got the stealth rock, you've got great hazard setters. I mean, Dio defense is a premier hazard setter in my opinion, and then you have Overquill, who is also I think a really great spike or T spike setter, which I do think makes cleaning for Roaring Moon or Sizz so much easier. So I think that the
How do
idea
you
is there.
feel? How do you feel about this team being kind of EQ weak? Thundy is really your only
Yeah, it's probably the only one. Yeah,
option. I mean, and then you don't
that's
actually you don't have is there a fighting type on the team at all? I
nope,
don't think there is, right?
no.
No, so like, you're also rock weak, which is less bad than being ground weak.
Yeah, I put it at the top of D. I think it's a little.
I personally would pilot this team, um,
Uh,
just
you
to like
like the.
try it,
Yeah, but
right?
there's just it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of. I mean, a whole
I
lot of immediate offense. I know. Oh my God,
I
Cursula
mean,
has 145 special attack. Didn't know that, but it is so fragile defensively. Like it doesn't take anything.
that's kind of like the issue that I feel like with this team is most of the mons are either real, solid, bulky options that don't necessarily OHKO anything, or they're super fast, super strong, getting and die, with nothing in between, right?
I feel like there's nothing that's super fast. I mean, Moon is a 119 if you boost
I
her.
I guess, but like you kind of have like I consider Thunder's T to be a fast mon because most of the time you're getting it in against things that's going to break. It's not really like a typical like how's the way I would say it?
I like Thunder T. Don't get me. I think it's good. I think you kind of need
It's like
hail or
it
snow
comes
with
in
it,
on
but
like those defensive mons and just kills them in one hit. Is
yeah,
kind of like what I'm saying, right? You're not using it for its speed stat, even though it's 101. Maybe it is a little slower than I thought. It's
it
really just Roaring Moon.
yeah, it's pokey. That's why I've got it at the top of top of C here.
Yeah, I think this team will. Heck, maybe I could be wrong. I don't know what the current like standings are in Johto, but I'd say this team makes playoffs.
It does kind of
Uh,
look like a playoff team, but we'll see.
right, but it doesn't. I don't. You know,
It's slow. It's got some bulk. It just got.
hmm
I think getting a spinner maybe in free agency might be the play here, but Ace took the round one horse, which forces. I'm surprised it didn't force everybody to take normals. I feel like a couple teams took a bunch of normals, and then not many teams took a great spec answer. But I think spec is overpriced. I think we have it at like 18 or 19 points always. I think it's like a 16-point mon without.
it still
Uh,
gets drafted though.
oh, I know.
Round
People
one
love
every
it.
time.
People love it. I get it. It's just not for me.
I mean, you have T spikes, which is actually something I feel like is kind of mandatory on a Spectrier team. Just to give you that hex option sometimes, you
Yeah.
know. And
Well, I
Gilmore
mean,
is
it's
really
got.
good at setting the T spikes, so it's like the premier
I
one to
mean,
do it with.
it is. I mean, Glamora is my favorite, probably my favorite Gen 9 mon to draft so far. It's so much fun to use between uh, Toxic Stalling with Corrosion or just eating those U-turns into free T-spikes, Scarf specs. I think it even has Meteor Beam Rock Polish now.
It
So,
does.
yeah. I mean, it's a good mon. I think it's a lot of just threats. Like the first one, two, three, four. I mean, even Glamora, all are just big stat attack mons. I mean, 165,
And
145, 125,
you also
120.
have the Grim Snarl to set screens for Lade, Spec, Zygarde.
Yep. I mean, Empoleon and Zapdos. You can run Zapdos defensively and still do a ton of damage. And
I feel
you got
like Zapdos is going to be defensive almost every week for this team.
probably. I used Arvalifa last season, and it was useful. It doesn't come to a lot of games, but it is useful with basically grassy seed or grassy surge and or harvest, both usable. It's got that high special attack, high special defense. It's better than I would have thought after using it. So I like this team. I think this is a team I would play.
I say, am I crazy for saying that this is probably an S tier team? Because I feel like it is.
I think
Like
it is.
I don't typically feel like Spectre teams, as someone who's both used and fought Spectre a lot, don't end up being that good. But I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know if it's better than John. It's probably
We haven't even talked about Mega Blade.
I know. I hate prep. I don't love Megalite, but it is. I mean, it's really good. There's no denying that. I think this team plays well. I think the
It's
prep
just hard to
pressure.
prep. It's hard to prep into Mega Blade and Thousand Arrows.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's hard to prep into Spec Glade. It's high guard. Like, you have to have something, with sub coil glare. Thousand arrows is just so
You're also
obnoxious.
going to have a grounded poison because Gamora is just always a threat in your team builder,
Yep.
unless you're six boots. Um,
I mean, you could run the first six every game and probably be some variation fine. Then you'd slip Arboliva and Empoleon in there for a
and
matchup.
yeah,
You might, I mean, Magmar maybe. I think with Violite it becomes a decent special defensive piece that can throw Will-O-Wisp off or Flame Body Burn. So
I mean,
it's
hey, if you're a Wolfie fan, you're a believer in the Magmar.
yeah, I know. I saw that in the video. Yeah, I think we've kind of agreed. Ace drafted well here. I see how he plays.
Yeah, this just looks like a nightmare on the builder. It's good.
Fancy with he was the Wingles. Now he's come back and he's the Phantoms. Round one Torn, great utility. Chomp, Heatran. I mean, that's a really good. I like the Heatran Garchomp combo personally. I think this is a really nice front three together.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's another one of those tested, tried, true combos, right?
Yeah.
Um, that being said, I don't know. I feel like 'cause without Terra, Joker Pawn, right? I mean, I've used it with and without Terra. It's definitely way better with Terra.
Oh yeah. I mean, it turns into a fat special wall.
At least you have webs because Torrent is above 120 speed, but like
I mean, it's good
10
webs too.
102 isn't what it used to be. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean it did. I mean it is the loaded dice did make Garchomp a little better with being able to spam scale shot and sword stance, but it's I don't think this team's bad. I don't think it's like amazing, but I think Fez is not that great after using it. It is nice. Like if you're not getting the toxic chains off, it's so tough, and
How do you feel about the special offense on this team? Because
it's a little low. Vikavolt is kind of carrying it with Heatran. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not as good as obviously Mega T-Tar, Garchomp, Jograpon. Even Hitmonchan actually can do quite a bit with Punching Glove now, but I don't think it's bad.
no, I don't think it's bad either. I mean, Sand's cool if you want to be like you know, it's 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 fine all around, right? It's just like a fine team. That's all I can say about it. It's fine. Like there's nothing necessarily wrong. You got your spin. I guess you're kind of forced into defog on Torrens. Kind of the I guess the biggest issue is if rocks go up on your side. I mean, like on your side of the field, they're pretty hard to remove without dedicating Torrent to it specifically.
Yeah, I don't know. Defog, Rabbit Spin. Yeah, Prinplup is kind of bulky for with the
Yeah,
Violet.
but you're not bringing it
No,
most of the
no,
time.
I don't think so. I don't know. I think Mesprit's a nice little. It helps
So
with
he's a
the.
low tier in like the low tier formats.
Yeah, it's good. I think this team's fine. I would.
So it's fine. Well, and most of the teams that we rated as fine end up somewhere high C, low B.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it just behind Blep.
And that's where I agree. I didn't want to put it in C either, but Blep, I feel like Blep is kind of like our benchmark so far. Are you better or worse than Blep?
All right, on to Twee, who just made changes that went through. It's a Sun team, so it's
Hmm.
is this 8 Mons? No, it's 9. Okay. Uh,
Oh, it is
yeah,
8 Mons. Did I get one in there wrong?
I
There
think
might
we're
be one more
missing one.
Mon. We're missing one. Let me go to his team. Merchant Munchlax, I
Oh,
think.
Munch, yeah, that's right. It's actually a
Actually, wait. She is supposed to be in here too. Did I get the? I think I just entered this team.
Chiyu.
Yeah, Chiyu
We
and
rushed to get
Munch.
this done, guys, because I'm going on vacation and the only time we could do it was over the weekend or today, so it had to be today. Okay, this makes this team definitely different. It's a kind of Gen 9 Sun, Tusk, Wake, Torkoal,
Chiyu.
Venu, Chiyu.
I
I know
mean,
he,
Sun boosted Chiyus are really hard to switch into even for resists.
yeah,
I've seen Torkoal fully special defensive Torkoal just go code.
yeah, we've all seen the shift that
Right?
goes around. It's so funny. Yeah, I mean,
Exactly right.
it's a I think it's a pretty good Sun team. I think it is just a standard Sun team that has 2.5 really solid defensive pieces in Bronzong, Audino, and then, Munchlax can come and be pretty decent here or there.
My
Torkoal can
my
also.
only complaint really is that your momentum options aren't great.
Well,
It's really just Ogerpon
yeah, but I was thinking. Well, and
and Thundy, but like
Thundy.
most of the time you want to be Volt Switch over U-turn on Thundy, right? And
Yeah.
that means that you can just get blocked by a ground type.
Yeah, my thought was that if it's a Sun team, you don't want to swap your Sun boosted Mon out if you can avoid it. You want to Twee's gonna have to double a lot, but I think if Twee, gets into a good double rhythm, he can abuse pretty well. Then obviously towards the end, he just wants the Sun out and whatever can break. Chiyu breaks the game open to a Finu
Ridiculous
or
margin.
yeah. So I think it's a pretty. I feel like it's just a very solid Sun team. I think like Tweet does have a good emblem. I think it's like right in the middle of B.
I think I like it
You
a
put
little
it at
bit
the
more.
bottom of
I
A.
I, no, I think I'd put it at the top of B.
Okay, top of
I
B.
think I like it more than Bullet Puncher's team, right?
Yeah, this is
And
JSauce's borrowed logo. Yeah, no,
right,
I think it's good. I think Twee's got a good team here. I think the changes also are good. I think Ogrepon was a good addition. I think having the reliable rock move is just fantastic, especially because I think there's no ice type, so I don't know. I think it's solid.
yeah, that's fine. I don't really like Sun teams for the most part, but this is a good one.
All right, and we have Wildflame, our 2 seasons ago winner, dropped back down to go back up. Yeah, call you Norwich here. Mega
I,
Lop.
I, I just love the little sprite for Toad's cool. Look at him. Look at him go.
That's good. Um,
As far as the team goes, this team looks very Gen 80, and I'd like this
this
team
is so
more
Gen
if it
8.
was Gen 8, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad by any means. Um,
right? It's fine. Um, I don't like that Diancie is your only rocker, uh, because I feel like it's something I've had to harp on in Sinnoh a lot. And I'm surprised I'll have to harp on it in Johto here. I mean, we've got to see like a Megazard, right? But do you really want to run into a matchup where your opponent is like, yeah, my Moltres doesn't have to be boots this week?
well,
You know, it's
I mean, Deontay has to come almost every week.
And that's not a good thing in my opinion because Diancie isn't like the best fairy type to be bringing every week.
No, it's a phenomenal low tier
It
Terra, but
it
it's
is
well, and
like
there's no
your
Terra here.
it's like your only hazard option unless you're running T-spikes on
No.
Toxapex. I guess you can or can't count sticky webs on Rabombi, but then you're running both Rabombi and Diancie and you're kind of opening yourself up to some different things.
Yeah,
I mean, Mega Lop Corv is such a classic combo, and Kyurem's always incredibly hard to deal with. Like, I feel like a lot of the time you're just going to be Lop Corv, Kyurem, Rotom Heat, Toxapex, and Diancie. There's your team. Six
yeah.
every week. Your last three mons are a little bit odd. I mean, you can hoop them bound in and out with, like, I don't know, I guess Kyurem, but are you really? Right?
I mean, I will say Kiram and Rotom and Hoopa Unbound to all love webs. Just being able to be faster than the mons that would kind of make it difficult. You can run. I will say the lack of speed tiers here. Anything 100 to 123 is all running modest or um, you know like well not 100 but like anything 110 up is probably running modest or adamant if they have to. It's going to be um, tough, but I do think with having Corv, Pex, Heat, I mean it's a pretty good defensive
Question for
set.
you. How do you feel about this team breaking water types specifically? Because Kyurem's like freeze dry is real good, don't get me wrong. But then your water type breaking is heat?
Yeah, I mean it's probably just Hoopa Unbound doing some shenanigans,
Yeah, but
guessing the wrong one. But yeah, it's a I think a bulky water is going to make this a tough one unless it's got a secondary typing that you can exploit. But it's not.
right.
I mean, Hoopa Unbound is a great breaker. You know, Specs or Banded is so hard to swap
In like the
into.
greater context of Dragapult and Spectre existing, uh I'm not sure how I feel about Lop being your switch in.
It's not the best, no. You
It's
do
fine. It's like
probably should have got another like bulky normal.
this team is like bulky when it needs to be, it's offensive when it needs to be, but like I don't like there's just not that wow factor for me.
I
It's
know.
like
I was gonna put it like
oh,
maybe at the
you're gonna
bottom.
I was gonna put it at the top of C personally. We can go somewhere in the middle
Yeah, I don't think it's
of
better than
C, but
Elo
like
Kids. We had to go back and look at Flygon's Steam again because now I don't even remember it. All right, we got two more, then we'll do a readjustment here. Jake
yeah,
Dubs Grossman. Um,
it's got the demons on this team, bro. Like this is one of those drafts I like to call the demon drafts, where it's like Mega Diancie, Lando T, King Gambit, Blacephalon, Como, just all the demons, right?
yeah, this is a tough. This is
But
a heavy hitting team here.
how do I feel about it overall? I mean, your speed tiers are good, I'd say generically across the board. I hate Mega Diancie. It's
It's
so
fantastic. I
good
just
bad. It's so good bad. You know what I mean?
the 50 HP is makes those 110s not nearly as high as you think. Like it does not take even like banded or
There,
specs neutral moves at all.
the replay I tried to post in Senate, but unfortunately it's now like dead and gone. Is like a Smeargle on lead against a Mega Diancie, and it was Scarf, Double Iron Bash, and O-code it.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't surprise.
That's a Smeargle, right?
Yeah,
Like
that is yeah. It's a Smeargle, but it's it's very funny. I mean it's a good team. I think Tangrowth fits
right,
well in here to absorb um, you know electric and grass moves that Alomola doesn't want to take, or the Crobat's great for the grass moves, doesn't want to take the ice moves, it doesn't want to take Alomola. I mean, it's got a very good defensive core, and it's got a couple pieces that you can run somewhat defensively, like Inkomo, Crobat,
King Gambit
Lando.
appreciates the wishes from Mola.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Regen Core.
this might be the best team.
There's a lot good to say about this team, and I want to actually spend some time talking because I feel like we've been kind of focused on the bad. Like I said, It's good speed tiering. You got regen core. You got good wish recipients in Lando T, King Gambit. Um, Como, which is a nice little toolbox for whatever you need depending on the week. Uh, there's not a whole lot bad because your defog options are really just Lando and Crobat, which is something normally I'd harp on, but you got the Magic Bounce option if you've set up Mega. Uh, and every week you have so many mons on your team that are going to be valid rock setters that you're going to be forcing your opponents into boots for a lot of their mons, right? Suddenly, and especially with the in the greater context of the drafts that we've seen so far with all of our previous teams, a lot of them struggle to remove hazards. So your rocks are likely going to stay, and you're going to be forcing a lot of boots, which is a bigger deal than I think a lot of people realize.
No, I agree. Um, it's definitely a piece of it here that's a little tough. I do think Crobat is a really solid fast defog, at least to help with that. But I think this team is really good. Um, I mean, we don't. I'm not a big speed tier person, but they do look nice. I will say your priority is Sucker Punch, which is honestly fine. I mean, it's a nasty Sucker Punch with like black glasses, 3 dark attacks. It's a. I think this team is really good. I don't know. I've put it either at the top of A or like the bottom
I don't
of.
think it breaks S to me.
Actually,
I think it's top of A. I think it's the best A team. I
yeah.
don't think it's an S team.
All right. Last one here.
And I say the only thing that keeps it back from being S team specifically, if you go back to it really quick, is that you do have a regen core, yes, but it is Tangrowth, Alomomola, which are both physically defensive walls that both get hit by freeze dry, in my opinion. Really bad. So otherwise I'd put it into S, I think.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. We got Ziad, or as Ziad Bum, as he is at sometimes. Um,
Terrapagos. I guess you probably should change it into its like dad form.
yeah, it's better.
There
Yeah,
we
yeah.
go.
Turtle. Um, I like a lot of the reptile-based ones here. That's fun. Um,
Lots of tails on this team. Most of your moms have a tail. It's very cool.
are we counting this as a tail? But this is, I think, just on your first look, you do have two really reliable spinners. No defog, but you know if you have Brick Break or Psychic Fangs or something, you should not have an issue with the screens. I love Nidoqueen in draft or Nido. I mean, it's almost better as like a bulky mon that can still hit hard with like a Life Orb or
See, generically, I like King better as a mon, but in draft, I like Queen better.
yeah. Well, yeah, I do like the Kaiju, the Kaiju form of mons that were like all over the place in Gen 1 through 3. Starmie's great, I think, still in draft, especially for the points. It's usually relatively, inexpensive for a fast, decently hard-hitting status absorber with, you know, spin and recover. I don't think Dirge is nearly as good without Terra, but it still gives you a very good physical wall, especially with Unaware, which you can, easily run, especially defensive too if needs be. So I think it's a pretty good team.
Um, I think it's fine. My only issue is like, I like teams with a plan on how to win. Um, I guess I just don't see it here. Maybe I'm missing it.
I mean, I think it's just kind of, I think it's just a balanced team where it's, every week try to have a different option with
Yeah, I
Shifu.
mean,
I
it's
mean,
fine.
you could win Shifu any game with Banded or
Nor
Scarfed or
Normally
Swords
I'd
Dance.
harp on your lack of hazard game with two setters and two removers. But like they're both solid enough in both categories. I don't think it's worth harping on too much.
Yeah, I mean, they're both good rock setters for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of. It has some snowball mons like Celesteela, Terrapagos. Even Dirge can snowball. Raikou, I know some people don't think it's as good, but I don't think it's a bad mon. Um, Two 115s, but I don't think Starmie's always running 115 or max. And Raikou, you can
No,
get away
Sun
with like
doesn't
sub
know.
call mine and stuff too. So I mean, I think it's fine. I don't think it's the best team, but I don't. I
I
would.
mean, you have enough with the 145 being your next speed tier to put enough pressure up and down. I think it's fine.
I'm gonna put this. I think it's
I'd say middle of B somewhere, probably beneath Bullet Puncher.
okay. That's bullet right there. Okay. All right. Let's go look. Let's do one last look over at the first couple teams just to see if we think that that is right.
Yeah, can we put a pause in the video maybe? Is that possible?
No, not at all.
Not on your software. Okay.
I just don't want to edit. I just don't want to. I'm not gonna edit it.
I just wondered if you have a pause button. I know that in like OBS there's a pause option.
Um, I have no clue. I only do
Ah,
it for these videos. Um, I think maybe we can move this one up. I think it's after the changes, it's better. I don't think there are that many bad teams. I think it's probably above Wild Flames team.
no, there isn't that many bad teams, but like, you're in Johto, so we're being a little bit more harsher than we might if you were like in Hoenn.
Yeah. No, I think we got it pretty good. I
Pretty
think
close on.
Zeke's team is definitely with the Coco and nothing else with it is tough for the points.
How do you feel
Uh,
about our two S teams? Which team do you think is first and second?
that's John Paul. That's a good one. And is it Ace the other one? Ace is the other one. So I would rather play with Ace's team, but I think you would rather play with John's team.
Yeah, I like the Mons on John's team, but I actually agree with you. I think I would rather play Aces as well. I
Oh,
think,
okay. I mean, it was
I think
pretty
that's first
close.
and second.
I think honestly though, I don't love Pharaoh. I think it's a cool mon and it has its fun uses, but like for me, I just think if that's your steal, is that his only steal? Yeah. I
Yeah, it's only
think
still.
that's tough. I mean, you do have very good fire resist.
As like the dex continues to grow and more Mons gain moves, fire coverage becomes more and more common, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, that's tough. I don't know. I like this team. I would definitely play either of these teams. I do think Ace's team is probably the
Ace's team is just so hard to prep into.
yeah.
The combination of Gallade and Zygarde as offensive physical options, Thousand Arrows and CC just in general from these two is incredibly difficult. And heck, you can run Glimora offensively. You got the T-Spike support for Spec. It's so nasty. And Zap is, even though you're not going to be running an offensive most of the time, it's still just a base 125 special attacker.
Well, we
Heck,
also
even our
got
Believa is an offensive powerhouse too. Like, not most times you're not bringing in specs, but it's still 125, and you can hit
Glamora or
pretty.
Zap. Zap's great. I
I'm
mean,
talking about Arboliva as an offensive mon.
oh yeah, it's not bad. I think one thing we didn't even talk about was the Glamora. You can't freely click defog with an Empoleon in the back of the rosters here sometimes. So
Yep, this is a really well built team that almost makes you think about defog every turn with screens. You got good rocks, T spike options. It's just so good.
all right, any final thoughts?
Um, no, I think that's about it for me. Uh, Final rankings look good to me. Solid.
All right, awesome. All right, guys. Well, we will get this over. Hopefully, we can get posted here soon. I don't know. Do you have a channel?
I do, but I doubt I remember the login. We can
That's
get it
fine.
up on the NPBA channel.
Yeah, I think Johto has that, but he's on. He might still be gone. All right, we'll figure it out. We'll get it out there. If worse comes to worse, we'll make JSauce release it on on his YouTube. All right, guys, we'll catch up with you later. Good stuff. Keep getting your games in. Really appreciate it, and catch you later.
Good luck.